What's going on, Gacha gamers? Sam here, back at it again for another video. And in today's video, I wanted to discuss my top 5 upcoming Gacha games. These are the games that I'm eagerly anticipating, and probably the games I will be covering on this channel in the upcoming future. So let's get into it. Now, coming in at number 5, we have Neverness to Everness, aka NTE, as the cool kids call it. This game looks cool. Obviously, it's from Hoda Studios, the makers of Tower of Fantasy. Kind of a yikes, but I do think they've kind of redeemed themselves, and I think this game looks a lot more polished, a lot more sound. I think the characters look good. I think the animation looks good. I think the world looks cool. I think this character looks pretty cool herself. Yeah, and then I do kind of like the urban vibe. I think the city looks good. I think they just need to make sure that it feels alive. It is interesting that a lot of these new upcoming gotcha games are kind of doubling down into like the urban setting, kind of trying to capture that almost GTA vibe. But I think it looks good. I think the colors are good. I think it pops. I am really curious to see how they implement their gotcha system. As we'll talk, is kind of a couple of games on my list aren't technically gotcha games, but we'll get to it. Um, but yeah, my biggest concern is I'm not sure how big of component of this game combat will be. If you don't know, I kind of am a big, gameplay combat type person. And from what I've seen, it seems a little bit limited. And I don't really know how much combat is going to be kind of interwoven into the foundation of this game. But all in all, I do think it looks really solid. Yeah. And it's going to be my number 5 game. Now, coming in at number 4, we have Ananta. Now, I mentioned earlier, not every game on this list is technically a gotcha game, but they kind of originated as a gotcha game and they're in that anime sphere. So, if so fact so, I'm going to consider Ananta and put it on my list at number 4. Now, Ananta is kind of a fever dream. We've known about this game for a really long time. Obviously, it was previously called Project Mugen. It's really interesting. It again, there's so much going on. It really is this open world GTA anime vibe. There's a lot going on. You can go to dance parties, get cars, steal cars. You're Spider-Man. There's so much going on, and I'm really curious to see how they execute it. I've heard a lot of really good things about this game. Obviously, each character kind of has their own play style. The MC is kind of like Venom, Spider-Man. The girl with the dragon tail kind of has her own um abilities and fighting style and what have you. So that's cool. Again, big combat guy. I'm not really sure how well it's going to be woven in. I'm also not the biggest like GTA fan myself. I played it a little bit growing up, but I'm not like obsessed with that game style, but I do think it's kind of interesting how they've been able to kind of interweave the characters. So I don't know if they're going to show in this trailer, but you have your phone and each character is kind of interacting across the map of the city, if you will, kind of doing their own thing, and then you can kind of jump to them. So I thought that was really interesting. You can kind of use random items as weapons. So I'm intrigued. I'm definitely intrigued. I do think they need to be a little bit careful about their Spider-Man animations. I don't know. Maybe they get a little a little lawsuit their way. But all in all, I am really intrigued by this game. I'm definitely going to give it a whirl. I don't know if it has as much staying power as Genshin Impact or Wuthering Waves and Honkai Star Rail had, but I do think it's unique enough. I think the characters look good enough. I think the world and the city looks good. So I'm gonna give it a try. So that is my number 4 game. Now, coming in at number 3, we have Arknights Enfield. Now, Arknights Enfield also looks like an amazing game. I would say stylistically, I think the character design, I think the combat is much more up my alley. I think the world looks cool. I'm a huge fan of ice domains, if you will. But yeah, I think all in all, I would say polish wise, this game looks the best. Now, I do have a pretty big concern about this game, and that's going to be the building mechanic. I am not uh, somebody that really likes building a base. Base builders don't really entice or attract me whatsoever. And from what I've seen, it's a pretty big aspect of this game. So that's something that has me a little bit concerned. But I do think like I said, character wise, combat wise, fluidity wise, this is probably like number one or 1A on my list. But having a big aspect of the game be something that doesn't really interest me is going to be interesting. But I definitely think this is very much so, you know, on the list of most anticipated games for me. I'm definitely going to give it a shot, maybe cover it. We'll see. But yeah, I never played the original Arknights. Obviously, totally different game. This is open world. I think the other one was kind of like, I don't know, like a, I don't even know what to call it. It's kind of like you have your mini characters, and it's like almost like a wave clear type of game. I know it's very popular, so I'm very curious on this one, and I think it'll be really popular. But again, we'll see, we'll see if the base building is really that big of aspect of the game. But maybe the combat and everything else is so good that uh, that everything else is kind of secondary and tertiary. So we'll see. Now, moving on to number two, we have Duet Night Abyss, aka DNA. I don't know if anybody calls it DNA, but I'm going to. This game, again, not necessarily a gotcha game. It started that way, but they kind of pivoted. But you know, I'm still gonna lump it in. This game looks very intriguing. I did dabble in Warframe for a smidge. I really enjoyed it. I think Warframe is very fun. It's a great game. I think they have a pretty good monetization structure. And obviously, as we know, DNA does not have a gotcha system per se. You're going to be able to grind for each character and, you know, their weapons or what have you at your leisure. Now, we need to see how aggressively it is or how aggressive the grinding is. But the fact that, you know, we're going to be able to dive in, get every character in due time is awesome. You have guns. Each character has like dope, uh, unique abilities. So I'm really excited. I think this game is going to be really, really interesting. It comes out, I believe, this upcoming week. And again, I think if I had one concern, it would be how well do they intertwine the grinding? Does it become too grindy? You know, are people that are willing to swipe just going to get, you know, so far ahead? I don't envision this game having PvP. I don't know if they've mentioned if it has co-op just yet. Haven't followed up on that, but again, I think this game is dope. The fact that it is, you know, essentially not a gotcha game has me very intrigued. I think the characters look dope. I really am a fan of the Warframe movement, so we'll see. But I definitely think this game is number two on my list, and I'm definitely excited to play it. And I'll probably, you know, make some videos on it if I end up enjoying it. Now, last but certainly not least, we have Azure Promilia. And Azure Promilia is easily the game I'm the most excited for. I really like the art style. I would say it's definitely more of the ilk of like a Genshin Impact, kind of that very animated type art style. I think the characters look dope. I think the animations look cool. You can have uh, ground mounts, you can have air mounts. These animations look crazy. The characters look cool. And it has a Pokemon, aka Pal World aspect of the game. If you didn't know, I'm a huge Pokemon fan. I grew up with those games, and I actually never really played Pal World, so I'm really curious to see how that system is interwoven. Seems like each, you know, Mon has evolutions, so I'm really curious to see how that's going to work out. Uh, yeah, this game looks awesome. Easily my number one most anticipated game. I'll probably play the heck out of it. I'll probably cover the heck out of it. I'm just really curious to see like how casual it is. I think the Power World aspect seems very, you know, chill and casual. Hopefully they have really good boss fights. Um, you know, there's a rumor that they might not have any male characters, which, you know, I think every once in a while we need a dope male character, but it's not going to deter me from playing the game. But I think this is the game I'm the most excited for. We've also known about this game for a long time. We really don't know when it's going to be released. A lot of the other games we have a little bit more so of an idea, but I am very excited for this game. That's pretty much it, gamers. So what do you think of my list? Comment down below. What do you think? What games are you most excited for? Obviously, you know, there's a bunch of other games I didn't mention. I think Silver Palace is kind of an honorable mention. That game is so far out. We don't have any details on, but it looks pretty cool. There's also a bunch of like a Nemo, any no Mo looks cool. But that's pretty much it, gamers. Let me know what you think. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.